Greetings and welcome to you. I am Shoshana, and today we're going to be doing the title. We're going to be doing a reading about apologizing to the inner child. This is something that even though it looks simple, it's not. A lot of people meditate. They try to get grounded. But for some reason, the inner child is often neglected, abandoned, without a voice. And if you were to sit there and have a quiet discussion with your inner child, you'll find that they have a list of complaints against you. These messages are not going to resonate with everyone. Some of them will, some of them won't. But we're going to get grounded together today. I want you to get comfy. If you're wearing any slippers, take them off. If you're wearing any socks, take them off. If you're wearing shoes, take them off and feel how the ground feels, how the rug might feel, grass if you're outdoors, wherever you are, and just feel how your toes feel on the floor. And you see how fast it brings you to childhood? How fast it brings you back down to childhood, to innocence, to purity. If possible, I prefer that you do this outside, in the yard, while the sun is hitting you, or simply just a quiet place where you won't get interrupted. Put your hands over your belly button, and you may ask, where is the location of your inner child? Inner child is located in your gut. That's the energetic location. So if you have digestion issues, you have inner child issues, self-love issues, insecurity issues. We put both of our hands over our belly button and imagine holding the inner child version of yourself. You could either do it by putting your hands over your belly button and holding there, or you can put them over your heart and hold there, or in between and hold there. Breathing in and breathing out. And it's time to look honestly at the complaints, the list. And there's several phrases the complaints are in phrases or short sentence forms, depending on what you're going through. I will list just a few. You didn't look back. You almost killed me again. You didn't ask me. You didn't get reassurance from me. You asked everybody. You forgot. You forgot me. I'm tired of you not acknowledging me. Why did you drop me again? How many days did you leave me on the floor? How many times did I tell you to drink tea instead? How many times did I tell you not to go there? How many times did I tell you not to talk to him or her? How many times have I told you to cut them off? How many times have I told you to go where you feel safe? What is out of balance for this collective? If it's resonated so far and you feel connected to it, this is the collective of people needing to acknowledge their ICs. Through purification. Where's your altar? How many people here are missing an altar from their home? An altar, a holy shelf that goes usually in the northwest or I want to say northwest areas of your home. If you can't do the northwest, an undisturbed area in your home where there's no traffic, you put up a shelf. And you put on that shelf everything that you consider holy and sacred that connects you to God, to Source. Whether that's a crystal, a smudge, a feather, a book, something that connects you to everything that is holy and sacred. This right here is the sacred mound. This is the bone of a buffalo. And the buffalo protects the purification process when people go inside the sweat lodge and remove the negativity and negative entities by sweating. So the buffalo skull protects so that no negative entities will try to enter the sweat lodge while people are getting well. What is out of balance for this collective here is a lack of having an altar or a lack of visiting your altar. The other thing that you should put in your altar is a baby picture of yourself to remind you of your inner child and how a lot of problems arise because of not acknowledging the IC. So I've been doing this for a really long time. I've had many different channels. I would have to say maybe 15 years that I have been doing this. And the two things that I have realized that cause the most issues in people's mental health, in their harmony, in their balance, in their sanity, is ego and neglecting the I see. When you neglect the I see and can't surpass the ego issues, that is what creates the root cause of a lot of catastrophic events that happen in our lives. Okay? And this that I've been doing for 15 years has been through experience, through trauma, through upbringing, being brought up in a dysfunctional family, being raised in a country where there was a war going on. None of these things that I talk about on my channel, I was taught by a second or third party. These are all personal experience from my own pain, trauma, and torment. Believe it or not, when you are raised in that manner, it gives you wisdom. And whenever there's something I don't understand about the wisdom that I've encountered or experienced, I go to my higher elders to discuss any confusion. So this is all from experience, because you have to be careful on YouTube. There's a lot of fake healers that were brought up in mansions and pampered their whole life and don't even know the meaning of suffering. And make sure that you are discerning with where you get your consolidation. I don't know why I want to say that. Your consolidation. Just be careful that you are discerning and cross-checking everyone's vibes, because there's a lot of scammers out there that just want your money. Okay? I have a sister and she was scammed over $35,000 by a psychic. Okay? And then there's a lot of psychics that will use their abilities to scam and rob you. Okay, so I just want you to be careful with that. Even tarot readers, be careful which tarot readers you choose, because a lot of them will put spells on you so that you keep going back to their channel. Be discerning. Ask your inner child, is this person safe? Is this person I'm going to date safe? Is this person I'm going to move into safe? Is this person I'm engaged to safe? Is that house safe? Okay, because when you prioritize that, you prevent tragedy. And in these times, there's just a lack of genuineness and authenticity. It's very difficult to find genuine and authentic people, and they're out there. They're just not, they're intentionally disconnecting the genuine, authentic collective because they want them to be in separation, because they know that when they get united, they become powerful. They become a power community. And then there's the dark cults that use religion and use symbols to hide their true faces. How many people hide behind churches and are doing other things? So just be really discerning with who and what and where gets your beautiful energy that is precious and that you need to take care of. There's a reason why we're always being targeted. because we have something inside of us that is rare and special. So that's why our pineal gland is always being targeted, because our pineal gland is the location of source. Source is located, seated at the pineal gland. So that is what is going to be targeted and calcified as much as possible. Mother Earth, the problem with this collective here is you are unable to ask for help, and you have a really hard time receiving love and nurture. Okay? If you are a healer, you were not made to heal people at the price of your own destruction. You have to set boundaries. How much are you giving away? For how many years have you been giving and receiving nothing? What can you do to make yourself feel more deserving, having more compassion for your IC? It takes 1 second to ask your IC for advice. So let's say there's something really toxic that you want to do. It takes 1 second to ask your IC, what do you think? And your IC is going to say, no, I don't think you should do that, because if you do that, it's going to go to 10. Your pain and suffering and torment is going to go to 10 if you do that toxic thing, right? But a lot of people get targeted by what? Ego. The entities attack emotions first, then the emotions attack your ego. All of a sudden, your ego just shut up your IC. So your poor little IC doesn't have a little voice because ego just stomped all over it and left it on the floor. Do you understand what I'm saying? But you sit there, you get grounded for 1 split second before you're at oh my gosh, I can't even speak. You sit there for 1 second before your amygdala starts acting up and you get hijacked emotionally and go through that ego storm, that monsoon of emotions, right? And your ego will convince you that your ego is more important than the IC. And then you'll go and you'll do that toxic thing, and your pain will go up to 10 after a couple of days, and then you'll go back and say, I'm sorry, I see what happened. And IC will say, I told you so. I told you so. What is needed to keep this alignment is the need to meditate every single day, if not 3 times a day. The reason why I'm not a good driver is because I stay in the 5D. It's very difficult for me to go from the 5D to the 3D. Extremely difficult. I'm constantly seeing visions from heaven, and I see jinn energy. I see the objects that cats can see, and it's not pleasant, but at the same time, it's necessary. So I stay in the meditation realms, and it's difficult for me to do anything else. Because when you have the chance to do this, to have a quiet time and meditate, collective, it prevents so many issues. And this is not to say that the issues and the circumstances are not overbearing and overwhelming, and you just feel like you're being buried in problems. It's not to say that those problems don't exist, but at least your sanity will exist through meditation. Because what are you doing? What are you doing when you're meditating? You're talking to IC. You're talking to Source. You're talking to your spirit animal. What would happen? How come that mistake happened? How do I fix it? How do I prevent it? How do I become better? How do I listen to what IC has to say? When babies are born and they're newborns, they come straight from the source. So they have source energy. So when you tap in to the IC energy, you are tapping into source energy by acknowledging and listening to the IC as well as apologizing to it, because there are many, many, many instances where the IC felt that it was left on the floor. Any messages from the poker cards? Poker cards, poker cards. I like using these because I get interesting messages from them. Did you know that the indigenous Native Americans used to use poker cards and they were made of buffalo skin? Can you imagine if we can do that again? Like make them made of buffalo skin again, because that keeps them protected. Just a little fun fact for those of you who didn't know. All right, any messages that IC feels has not been mentioned? Oh, okay, this is a good one. See, that's what I'm talking about. Endless issues. Endless issues. Being triggered, being re-traumatized, having people push your buttons, having people burst your buttons, bust your bubble in your space, poking the bear. What are you going to do when this happens? Are you going to listen to ego or are you going to listen to IC? Because you have to be prepared. I like to email myself, okay? Because you never see this coming. Trust me, you never see the attack. Always comes out of the left, right? Left field. You're always unprepared. What I like to do is I like to write an email to myself. And I remind the re-traumatized ego version of me. I remind them that IC exists. Write yourself a 3-sentence email that you think IC would want to tell you when you feel like giving up, okay? Let's do one more. And that's extremely important, and you can modify those 3 sentences and you save them as a draft to your Gmail so that whenever you feel like you're flipping out, Proton Mail, whatever it is you use, Yahoo, you go through the draft and you read what you wrote, which was a letter from IC to the angry you. Okay, this is so interesting. So we have a 9 of diamonds, and this is like, okay, so You have two temptations, collective. Of course, this is not going to resonate with everybody, but most people, it will resonate with you because everyone has a dark side. Everybody has an addiction. Everybody has a deformity. Everybody has a dysfunction. That's why we're here on the seventh lowest level of earth hell, right? We're on the lowest level. Like there's 7 levels and we're at the bottom of the 7. Okay. So, we are here to flat iron imbalances. And IC gets hurt when this collective does not resist temptation towards the toxicity that brings you back down, that brings your vibration back down, right? So the two temptations here are things coming out of the left field that makes you get tempted and crash out, right? And then we have good news. When you get a lot of money, when you get promoted, when you get a birthday or an invitation, the negative aspect of you gets tempted to indulge in self-destructive behavior, therefore hurting IC once again with either or. We have 2 9s over here, either, and they're both opposites. When you feel extremely low, IC gets hurt. When you get extremely good news, IC gets hurt. Do you see what is happening here? Do you see how important it is to stop hurting IC so that you can get your life together? Because it just, IC feels like it's a lose-lose situation. And then there's this cycle that continues that leaves you in dread. Okay, and we want to prevent that here. We're preventing that. We're preventing the frequency of episodes from going on. Cutting the pattern, cutting the cycle, cutting the loop. If you are unemployed or if you need to change industries because your current industry is hurting IC. I used to be a bartender, okay? I used to be a bartender and I made a lot of money bartending. But it started to hurt IC. Hello. IC was like, this is not happening. You need to do something else. So that's the perfect example of what this is. Is the industry that you're working at right now hurt IC? Or does it nurture and pamper IC? We have renewal. You need to take time to recharge your energy to get back on track. Challenges ahead require you to have faith and breakthrough. Ain't that the truth? We are going to need every little piece of mind and fragment and energy and IC's happiness to survive. You need to take time to recharge your energy to get back on track. Challenges ahead require you to have faith and breakthrough. I really, really like this one so much that I don't even want to pull another. But let's pull just one last one, just in case there's someone that is just so confused with what they should do. And don't be confused, because the reason why you're having such a hard time finding a job has nothing to do with you. It has to do with corporations having nothing but slave jobs available. It has nothing to do with you. That there isn't communities back to back, building to building, wall to wall of healing centers everywhere that you can work at. Acupuncture, acupressure, holistics, TCM, holistic dental. Okay? And then last but not least, we've got great match. You are on the verge of finding the perfect work for you. Don't give up. No, don't give up. You may need to grow your own business to be truly happy. Exactly. Exactly. So, if all these corporations are going to have nothing but slave jobs for slave minimum wage, then we need to build nonprofit organizations, off grid communities, franchises, holistic franchises, and our own businesses to be truly happy. So, the greatest match of all for this collective is to work for your IC. What will make your IC happy in regards to work? Thank you so much for watching. Till next time. Bye.